Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Black Knight Greatsword. This weapon, you can get it early on in the parish by killing the Greatsword Black Knight in, the parish. The little tower thing right past the sunlight altar. If you are lucky enough to get it there on one of your playthroughs early in the game, then hey, good for you. You just got a weapon that can easily carry you through the game. If you're not so lucky, you're going to have to farm it later on at the end of the game in the Kiln of the First Flame. So, it is what it is. Now, I've talked with people who have got this weapon early on, who've gotten multiple Black Knight weapons early on, and all of the people who I've talked with, whenever they are saying how the game was for them, whether it was easy, hard, whatever, they usually say that it was pretty easy for them until they went to do another playthrough and weren't so lucky with the item drops. What I mean is, they went to do another playthrough and they did not get the Black Knight weapon of any kind that they were talking about. So, really what that means is, it's a good weapon, you can't rely on getting it because it's not a guaranteed drop, but if you're lucky enough to get it, then it's one that can carry you through the entire game. Not a bad thing. Now, from a PvP standpoint, it's a pretty good weapon. It's got a bit of a difficult moveset to use. Its R2s, as with most Black Knight weapons, they're not that easy to hit with. Really, really easy to punish, actually. But when you do land them, very satisfying. So, that's enough of that. Let's get started. The Black Knight Greatsword, it has a weight of 14 units. It requires 32 strength and 18 dexterity in order to wield, and it has a B scaling in strength and an E scaling in dexterity. So, pretty basic stuff. Like all Black Knight weapons, it will do a little bit higher damage to demons, demon enemies like the Taurus Demon and the Capra Demon. And yeah. Now, getting started with the pros and the cons, I would have to say the biggest pro rather, from a PvE standpoint. So just playing through the game, the biggest pro, the fact that if you're lucky, you can get it early on and it can carry you through the game. Not many weapons are like that. Well, there are weapons that are like that, but it's especially true with the Black Knight weapons just because of how easy they are to upgrade. They use Twinkling Titanite, so on and so forth. You can see where I'm getting at, or what I'm getting at rather, with that point. Now, from a PvP standpoint, the biggest pro of the weapon would be its ability to stun. It's got the typical Greatsword, or not Greatsword, but Ultra Greatsword class pro, its ability to stun very easily. Anything under, I believe it's 78 poise, 77 poise, something like that. Anything under that, a two-handed R2 will, or two-handed R1 rather, will stun on the first hit. So that's definitely a good thing. Because it can stun so easily, it can stun lock easily. It does have the slower swing speed of the Greatsword class weapons, so you'll get situations like what just happened there. I won't be able to swing fast enough to combo him, and it just keeps breaking his guard. So that does happen. Not that big of a deal though. You can still stun lock someone with it. You just have to be unlocked and do a few dead angles. It's still possible, just a bit more difficult. Other things about the weapon, other pros. Its rolling attack, definitely a very good pro. A lot of people will do that. A lot of people will spam the rolling attacks on the Ultra Greatswords, and that's something to watch out for. You can parry it pretty easily, so just gotta keep that in mind. Other pros, it's got some pretty good damage to its criticals. You would kind of expect that. I mean, I've got an AR with this weapon of right around 600. I think it's just barely under. Not bad though, not bad. Biggest con of the weapon, I would have to say that the biggest con of the weapon is how easy this one is to parry if you're not playing unlocked. If you're playing locked on and you just start to, R1 spam or even go for R2s, you'll find a lot of people who are willing to try parrying and they'll get lucky and be successful with it. Maybe not always luck. Sometimes it is with those R2s, though. I know from experience. I need a little bit of luck sometimes to catch those R2s. I've got a bad habit of, just overestimating or underestimating, whatever I feel like at the time, I guess. I've got a bit of bad luck with getting the parries on the large weapons recently. I don't know why, but I do. So that's that, I guess. Other things about the weapon I should probably mention. Its R2 attacks will both send someone flying up in the air, which is always nice. It's also pretty easy to do things like I just did right there. He just didn't manage to get out of it. If he started spamming the roll, he probably could have got it, but didn't happen. So it is what it is. Alright, so this is the last fight. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. If you do use this weapon with a Leo ring, its one-handed R1 attack works with it, and its rolling attacks also work with it, which can be quite nice. Some of the more powerful counter attacks in the game. So, yeah. Anyway, last fight, end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.